Hello, friends. This is Claudius and
Anna from Berlin.
yeah, hello. Today we honor a little bit the name of the channel, Elvis Lives. And some of you asked me a couple of times if I can say and speak a little bit about Elvis Presley. So Elvis was born on January 8, 1935 in Tupelo, Mississippi. And his parents have been so poor that they couldn't afford to go to the hospital when his mother, Gladys, yeah, found out today the child will come. They couldn't go to hospital. So she brought birth to Elvis at home. But he had a twin brother, Jesse Garan, and he came dead on Earth. So Elvis had a twin brother, but unfortunately he died when he came to birth. Yeah, I would say it. You understand me?
To the word.
Yeah, so Jesse Garan unfortunately never was on the side of Elvis. Yeah, and he was always a little bit different in school. He was the one who was more sophisticated, he was more stylish, he had different hair, different style and clothing and everything. And he found out that he can sing. So when he was 12 years old, he was winning the third place on a singing contest. And he received some free tickets for the roustabout there. And he decided one day, I want to become a very famous actor. So he went to the cinemas, he watched movies, and he visualized himself, I'm going to be a big famous actor. He visualized it every day and every day. And yeah, at the weekends he went to church with his parents and he was singing gospel. He was very influenced with gospel and country music, rhythm and blues. And when he was, I think, about 18, yeah, he decided to sing a record for his mother for her birthday. And it was My Happiness. He went to Sun Record, which is a very small record studio in Memphis, Tennessee. The owner was Sam Phillips. Elvis went to that record shop. He made the record. And the secretary of Sam Phillips, Marion Kaiska, she was very impressed of the voice of Elvis, and she said to her boss, this guy can sing, he looks so good, and he's white, but he sings like the black are singing. And Sam Phillips wasn't that impressed. However, a couple of months later, Sam Phillips gave Elvis a chance, and the rest is history. He made his first song, official song, That's Alright, That's Alright Mama. And this song became pretty famous in Memphis and in Mississippi and Tennessee. And a couple of months later, Colonel Tom Parker discovered Elvis and he became his manager. And Elvis was so young that the parents of Elvis had to sign the contract with the Colonel, not only Elvis alone. And once again, a couple of months later, Sun Records sold the contract of Elvis to RCA, and they received $35,000 for it. And RCA had more possibilities for Elvis than Sun Records had. Yeah, the Colonel arranged Elvis in TV shows at Sullivan, and the rest is history. Elvis was in 1956 the number one famous person on earth, and he was a millionaire within months. And he made one golden record after the next. And yeah, in 1956, his biggest dream came true. Elvis got a call from Hollywood and he made his first movie, Love Me Tender, which was, of course, a blockbuster. And others followed. Altogether, he made 31 movies, 2 documentary movies. And coming back to the 50s, Elvis was so famous that he also became uncomfortable for the government because the young people, they loved rock and roll. Elvis was famous for rock and roll, for his movements. And this was in the 1950s of the last century, very uncomfortable. Some of you may know that in these times there was a Cold War, the communists against the American system, the capitalism. And everything that was not conservative was a little bit, had always a little bit touch of communists. So many churches and many schools and many radio stations made a boycott on Elvis. So for nearly 2 years, it was not allowed for him in some states of the United States to go on stage. So in 1958, the government said, we have a great idea how we can get lost of Elvis. We sent him to the army. So send him to the army. Yeah. So at the end, it was better than having an airplane accident or a car accident. This happens to other rock and rollers in these days. So they sent him to the army, and Elvis didn't say no. He said, yes, I do this. Okay, I do my duty. So he took the wind out of the sail of the government and the people who criticized him. So he went first to Texas, and after a couple of weeks, he had to go to Germany. And he arrived in October 1958 in Germany, and he had a great time in Germany. And there he met Priscilla Beaulieu, the later Priscilla Presley. And when he came back, nearly 2 years later, Frank Sinatra, who always said he would never, ever invite Elvis Presley to one of his shows, Frank Sinatra invited Elvis to his Timex show in Florida. So Elvis came back from Germany and appeared on the Timex show in Florida together with Sammy Davis Jr. and Frank Sinatra. And they became good friends, very good friends. And I have to tell the story, by the way, when Elvis made movies, he had an affair with one of the girlfriends from Frank Sinatra. So his so-called Memphis Mafia, so his bodyguards and friends, always made jokes. They knocked on his van and said, Elvis, Frank is coming. And Elvis was, oh, and it was always a joke, always. But one day, Elvis was together with the girlfriend of Frank Sinatra, and Frank really came. And the boys knocked, Elvis, Frank is coming. And he said, yeah, I know. But this time, Frank Sinatra was really there. But he wasn't angry with Elvis. However, till today, Elvis sold about 2 billion records, 2 billion. And he's the #1 seller in gold, platinum, multi-platinum records. He's the best earning actor. He received $1 million per movie, plus 50% of the income from the turnover of the movies. So he really made big money. And till today, he left the building on the 16th of August 1977, but till today, about 600,000 visitors, 650,000 visitors come to Graceland to visit his place where he lived. And no other entertainer ever even reached 10% of that success Elvis did. But the most important thing about Elvis was not that he made so many records, so many movies, he made so much money. I think, in my opinion, is that he showed a very, very big heart. He spent about 20% of his income he gave away for charity, and he didn't make a tax reduction because he said, if I take a tax reduction for my charity engagement, it would be against the Christian idea. That was Elvis. So if Elvis, here for example, there is need for a wheelchair for a poor person in Memphis, he himself went to the car, bought a wheelchair, go to the person who needs a wheelchair and gives this person $1,000 and says, God bless you. That was Elvis. He was a very generous person. If you ever have the occasion to come to Memphis, Tennessee, I've been there a couple of times, and I was there, and I must say it really hits you in a positive way. If you ever have the occasion, go to Memphis, Tennessee, and you see thousands of documents how generous he was, how much money he spent for other people, for churches, for hospitals, and he was really a giver. Elvis was a giver, but also he took care about the people, not only in the thing of money or material things, but also he for example, before every show, he took one person out of his band and sit with him for 1 hour or longer and speak with him private. So he could keep the contact to his band, which is really touching. I mean, name me one huge entertainer who is so close to his band, who is so interested in the needs of the band, who play together with him. Maybe these things are the reason why Elvis still is alive, at least in our hearts, in our memory. But I think he gave so much to the world. He spent so much positive energy into the world that his light will never dim, will never go out. And Elvis was a huge Hawaii lover. His last vacation was in Hawaii in March 1977. He loved Hawaii, and he made 3 movies on Hawaii. It was Blue Hawaii, Hawaii Paradise Style, and Girls, Girls, Girls. Girls, Girls, Girls officially was not played on Hawaii, but it was they filmed it on Hawaii. And Elvis loved to fly over to Hawaii. He was there also with Tom Jones, and of course always with Priscilla and the so-called Memphis Mafia, his friends and bodyguards. Yeah, this was a little bit about Elvis Presley today. Maybe next time or some other time I talk a little bit more about the King. And if you don't know much about Elvis, I really ask you, try to listen some songs of him. He had an extremely huge range of, he was singing gospel, rhythm and blues, rock genres, yeah, thank you, rock and roll, ballads, pop, everything. Actually, nearly every genre he was singing. And I would say the most important about him is if he was singing a song, children's songs, church songs, if he was singing a song, you believed him. You believed him. Yeah, he had about 2,000 live shows, round about 836 at the Las Vegas Hilton, all completely sold out within hours. And this was long before the internet. And I was, honestly, I have to say that I was 53 times in Las Vegas. And always when I go there, I go to the, it's now the, it's not the Hilton anymore. It's not in my mind right now. It's not the Hilton anymore. And Westgate. It's the Westgate. And there is a statue of Elvis, and I always bring flowers. And if you have the occasion to come to Vegas, go to the Westgate and bring him some flowers to the statue. Also in Memphis, I'm wondering why they do not sell roses there. It would be a good business and also a nice symbol of love if visitors of Graceland could go to the grave and bring flowers to Elvis. So it's a business idea for the management of Graceland. However, next time more about Elvis. And speaking about Elvis and Hawaii, he loved Hawaii, and I know if he could, he would support Lahaina, he would support Maui, and he would support the native Hawaiian people. Thinking of Maui and Hawaii, greetings from
Anna.
She was quiet today, don't you think so?
I don't want to disturb you.
You never disturb me.
You was in flow.
My flow. Yeah.
But I can say you said that Elvis has visualized every day, and it becomes true. And that is a point for me from nice speaking about Elvis. You are the greatest fan I know. That if you believe in something very strong, if you feel this, if we have an emotion, it's already there. We get it, and it becomes true.
So maybe
my message.
So maybe we all now get into the emotion of peace on earth and freedom of speech on earth and harmony on earth, and we go into that feeling that we all live together in peace on earth now. We visualize this situation. Okay?
Okay.
Chaka, come on. Look who we have here. Hello.
Yeah. Aloha.
Aloha. Bye-bye.